Hi everyone. So I'm Jan. I founded a couple tech companies. One of my biggest companies is called Social Bakers that we built into a 500-person, $45 million ARR software business. I ran that for 8 years. I've been out of that for 2 years, and I thought to myself, I'm young, time is limited, and I want to do something cool. Basically, I'm a productivity freak. I love time management. I watch movies at twice the speed because who has the time to catch up with all these TV shows anyway? And but here with time is limited, we figured, and by growing my own business, we looked at it and said, wow, there's a lot of productivity issues once you outgrow this sort of 150 to 200 people range. We looked at our company, we looked at others, and find out there's a much bigger issue in the industry than just it's just us. So we looked at the space. We found, we looked at Office 365, G Suite. We looked at all the different platforms, and no one really measured time. And we thought, wow, this is a pretty big hole. Why does nobody measure team time? And looking through countless different startups and companies, a lot of these consultants help out big companies to do it, help out in certain ways. And the whole industry is going through transformations. These big companies, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, they're going through these agile transformations. But when you ask the CEO, how do you measure it? They will tell you once a year, we survey our people. And that's the current most modern time measurement in 2018. So we want to take it from sort of the old idea of punch cards, like just, volume of time at the office, which I don't think is representative of anything, to use all the software as a service tools and platforms that companies use today and leverage the information that they bring. The original thing we did was just take the calendar, enrich it with HR data, and started figuring out who's meeting who internally, externally, what's the percentage of ramp of your sales team, how fast does this happen? And we found out that there's quite a lot of info. And where today you look at your people's calendar and you see busy calendars, you might see revenues, sales performance. You can derive a lot from just calendars. But we want to take it a lot further. And we think what we've seen generally at our initial clients is they have meetingitis, which is just they're going in this disease of going from meetings to meetings to meetings. And yes, while this might not happen in a company of 50 people, at a company with 500, 5,000 or even more, it really does happen a whole lot. So what do we want to do? We want to build a time analytics platform. So we take not only calendar data, we also built a Slack analytics platform where you can analyze. We just did our first big client Slack integration. They have 3,000 people and they had billions of Slack messages, billions. And the level of information you can derive not from the volume, but by who communicates with who and why and how, that becomes interesting. We also don't want to be like Big Brother. We don't want to read the text of the messages. We don't want to read the emails. We want to figure out the flow between the people, if the company's in that flow or not. So we don't want to go too much on the individual level. We want to more see where the problem begins and ends, which usually is not with the people, but it might be with the middle management and at not one person, but at scale. We also want to bring qualitative data into it, so we built a meeting rater. I mean, today we rate, our Uber ride, our 2-minute Uber ride, 5-minute Uber ride, but we don't rate 1 hour, 2 hour meetings with 20 people. So we're also bringing qualitative data into it and then dashboarding them in some cool dashboard. And we think, why is there not a big time analytics company there today? Well, actually, it's because most of these tools, cloud tools and cloud platforms have not been around for corporates. So most corporates out there have adopted Office 365 or other cloud tools in the last 24 months. So it's fairly new to them that they can do one click, and with a 5-minute integration and one call with a CIO, we can have full access of data for any company to all their calendars, to all their tools, to all their software as a service platforms they use. So where are we now? We have a few clients, $20,000 in revenue. We're a small team of 11 people, grew organically funded. We do Google and Slack analytics right now, and we want to sort of take it to the next level. So we're looking for funding. We also put out these little cool tools like rating these meetings, and we already have 200 companies using that, and through that we get over 20,000 of access to different calendars that we can benchmark to. So we believe that the future of this is using artificial intelligence, machine learning, to figure out what's actually good or bad. Today, we can figure out sort of what's the change, what's going on, and through more and more data, we'll be able to rate and classify also the qualitative aspect. So we're launching Slack. We have G Suite integrations already. We want to build our AI platform and obviously integrate things like Office 365, video conferencing tools, figure out who's meeting who when. You can figure out how late your colleagues are to meetings and fun things like that. So with that, catch me after the presentation because time is limited. I have 20 seconds left, so I'll leave you with them so you have an additional 20 seconds. Thank you, guys.